to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
We are back again, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, for Wednesday, November 4th, 2015, Week 9 of the NFL season and your fantasy football season, and we're back. And this is Andy and Jason and Mike.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, party people.
Yeah, this is our Mailbag show. We're going to tackle some questions from the listeners, try to help out your fantasy teams.
I'm going to tackle these like that hit on Marvin Jones.
Man, that was brutal. He got broken in half.
Yeah, just like I'm going to break these questions in half.
Yeah, two-part questions. Oh. We do have a good show for you today. Excited to talk fantasy football once again. Check us out on the web, thefantasyfootballers.com. You can what's so funny?
Nothing. I'm just excited for the quick question.
Oh, okay. All right. And you guys excited for the quick question?
I guess. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Twitter, at the FF Ballers. You can check us out on jointhefoot.com. Join our fantasy football community. Talk with other listeners about their teams, about their players, waivers, trade questions, get feedback, all that good stuff. Exclusive content. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/thefantasyfootballers. Click the like button. You know how it works. And check us out on YouTube and the Fantasy Sports Network. We are everywhere. We're in your pocket on iTunes. On I understand we're now working properly on the Overcast app.
Yeah, we're back.
So that was weird.
We didn't change.
We didn't
anything.
do anything. Well, I did tweet at the developers for that app and say, hey, we're not working, and maybe they got it fixed. So yes, good day. Let's ask the quick question then. You guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Jason, I'm going to go right to you.
Okay.
Which player or players are you trying to trade for due to their easier playoff week schedule?
Let me give you three guys, okay? Let me give you
Perfect.
three guys that I think, at running back position, that have a really good schedule for the weeks, generally it's 14, 15, 16.
These are all on his team.
Here's one. Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller goes New York Giants, San Diego Chargers, and the Indianapolis Colts. Here's another one. Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram goes Tampa Bay, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville.
Not bad.
Juicy.
Not bad.
How about another one? Frank Gore, Jacksonville, Houston, and Miami. So those are just three guys. I can't trade for them. I can't go out and trade for them, as your quick question asked. But if you wanted to
Why not, Jason?
Because they're all on my team. I didn't know that.
Somebody wants a deep playoff run this year.
So
you didn't know that.
I realized they had good ones, but I was looking up for this quick question, and I just realized.
I think Chargers in general are pretty good to own towards the end of the season. Although if they go down they're not playing well, they're not competing for anything, that might hurt.
But if it's Phillip Rivers, he'll keep playing. Phillip Rivers does not quit. I have an interesting question for you fellas that I just came up with, because Phillip Rivers is always the name that I think of, and I've tried for weeks to tell people go get Phillip Rivers. It's probably going to be a lot harder now, but and I guess Jason just said the Colts do have a favorable matchup for the playoffs. Would you trade Andrew Luck to get Phillip Rivers?
No.
Nope.
You wouldn't?
No.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but no.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers has scored more.
It's a fair question, because the concern with Luck isn't if the rib injury news and that type of stuff didn't come out. But I think the Colts are going to be fighting for playoff lives. We saw what Andrew Luck can do in like 10 minutes when he wants to play well.
And it was also an absolute hurricane there. And during the 10 minutes when he started playing well, the weather was finally a little bit better.
We didn't say this. Dude, Norman is ridiculous.
He is awesome. Speaking of playoff schedule, and now look, Julio Jones is going to get his. Julio Jones is maybe the best wide receiver in all of football. But it is worth at least noting that in week 14 and 16, two of those games, two of the fantasy playoffs, including the championship week, he's going to be Josh Norman.
How does this is not fantasy related, but how does an NFL scheduler do that? Like, let's have you play a division rival 2 times in 3 weeks at the very end of the season.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Does that make you worry about Julio Jones, Mike?
A little bit. I haven't.
He's a lot bigger than T.Y. Hilton.
I haven't vetted the stats of Julio Jones versus a DB like that because Jason just brought it up. But no, I think Julio's too good. Maybe it might lower his ceiling. I'll agree with that, but
Okay.
I still think Julio can get it done.
Well, we're going to get into the listener mailbag, answer questions from the Foot Clan, questions about your team, and see if we can help you out this week. Before we do that, I want to thank our sponsor for today's show. You've heard us talk about them. It's Harry's. Harry's is the best. Listen, have either of you guys ever taken part in Movember?
I have.
Do you know what Movember is?
The mustache where you just grow the stash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it is the month where guys grow mustaches to help raise awareness for men's health issues. Now, I'm not sure if I'm doing it or not this year, but Harry's is the official sponsor of Movember.
Oh.
Yeah, they support the foundation there. So you guys will have to let me know if I should sport a mustache for this month.
I'll let you know, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, I figured that was
I
coming.
feel like you both should do it.
They are the official razor partner for Movember. So we love Harry's here. And the thing about Harry's is that the quality that you get with Harry's compared to the price is what makes them so incredible. Jason and I talk about it all the time. Harry's is the best shave that you can get. The blades are super sharp. They provide a close, comfortable shave. I love that foaming shave gel.
Oh, it's nice.
You tried that out. It smells so good. Hydrates your skin. Really surprised how high quality the products are for the price that you're paying for. And Harry's is a lot like us. It was started by a few guys that were passionate about creating a better shaving experience by delivering an amazing shave at an affordable price. Comes straight to your door. You will never go back when you go to Harry's. And listen, here's what you can do. Go to harrys.com right now. As a special offer for fans of the show, Harry's will give you a $5 off your first order with the code FOOTBALLERS. That's harrys.com, HARRYS.com. Enter the code FOOTBALLERS. You will not regret it.
No.
I can promise you that. So let's go ahead and get into the mailbag.
Mailbag.
I just noticed the volume was a little down on that. Did you catch that?
Do I need to do it again?
I think we do it again.
Mailbag.
Oh, you meant the drop volume was.
Yeah.
Dude, do we need to do it again?
Hey, that brings me to something I wanted to mention on the show.
I feel like it sounded like Miss Piggy just there.
That was that's exactly what it was. Kermit! Oh, I have to mention this because we couldn't really read the review on the show yesterday for the Reviewosaurus Rex because it was just too darn long. But now seems like a good time to mention it when you scream mailbag at the top of your lungs. Which, by the way, the other day, a music major gave you credit for being on pitch. So.
Yeah, you're darn tootin'.
Yeah. Well, you're a music
my
guy.
pitch is immaculate.
Yeah, immaculate pitch. That's
what they called me in the streets.
But the review came in on iTunes, and it was basically that we saved somebody's marriage because they have this deal where when they do a cross-country trip, whoever's driving gets to listen to whatever they want. And so the guy was driving. This review came in from the wife, and the husband was driving for 4 hours, and he said, "I'm listening to fantasy football podcast." And so she assumed their marriage was going to end. And turns out she got kind of into it. She really liked the drops and mailbag and liked the singing and said that she enjoyed it. And
Oh, thank you very much.
And it saved the marriage.
You are welcome. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, we're just healing,
We're here to
healing the world. All right, Charles in Boston. Mailbag question. Who would you rather have rest of the season, Chris Ivory or Char Kendrick West? Come on.
No. It's Ivory.
Yeah.
But
All right.
it's at least interesting and I think worth talking about. I think
Sure.
Charkandrick West, let's look at the schedule for Charkandrick West. And like I've been telling people, I have Chris Ivory concerned if Ryan Fitzpatrick has to go out for an extended period of time.
Too soon to tell.
And we don't know that. But
Right.
if Geno Smith is leading the Jets offense, I can't imagine that defenses will have to be as worried about the pass as they are with Ryan Fitzpatrick. So, are you pulling up a schedule right now?
Yeah, Charkandrick West actually has a phenomenal schedule for the rest of the season.
It's not close yet, guys.
No. It's not close. It's Chris Ivory by a mile to me. I would not want to trust Charkandrick West, but he does have a good schedule.
I would love to have both, but I'll go with Ivory.
Yeah. Bilal Powell will come back. He will be taking over some third downs, so that could hurt Ivory as well. He'll be back maybe next week. So Ivory for now. West is still a good start. Steven in Martinsburg. Where's Martinsburg?
I don't know.
You want to just take a guess? I'm gonna guess Massachusetts.
That's a great guess.
I'm going Maine.
Got a 1 in 50 shot.
Somebody's
got to look at that.
The question.
Is Jameis Winston worth a streaming start against the Giants this week? His other quarterback is Matt Ryan.
I know the answer. It's West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were way off.
Yeah, I was way off.
Jameis Winston has been playing better. Quietly, if you're not paying attention to what's going on in Tampa Bay. But we had just looked at this, and since his game a few weeks ago where he had the 4 picks, he's been playing a lot better, not turning the ball over, getting it done.
Yeah, it's three games in a row, 0 interceptions. He's been throwing
which for Jameis Winston is a big deal.
It's huge. But he doesn't have the best of matchups.
Colin Kaepernick has no picks in 4 games either.
Well,
just saying.
He's not going to have any more picks moving forward, Andy.
I'm not streaming Winston over Matt Ryan against San Francisco.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Charles in Boston. That's the one we just read. Super duper. All right. Michael in Boston. Should I start Lamar Miller or Latavius Murray this week? The Dolphins face the Bills, and the Raiders go into Pittsburgh. They're both road games. Who would you start if you had to choose between those? That is a close one for me.
It's really, really close.
Standard league.
I think both guys are going to be decent, but I would lean Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray has been doing it week in, week out this year. I know he had those 2 benchings for fumbles, but even during those games, he was performing well, and he's done it against good matchups. You look at this last week, he had a tough matchup, and he ran right through it. So I would go Latavius Murray.
Yeah,
Murray runs through it.
Ooh.
Was that like a river runs through it joke?
Just move on.
Just move on.
That
was a stretch.
Yeah.
Very close for me, but I'll lean Latavius Murray as well.
What do you guys think about Murray rest of the season? If the same question between Miller and Murray rest of the season, do you have a guy that you prefer? Is it still Murray? Same answer?
It's probably Murray, man. I'm jumping in. Me and the Raiders, we are best friends now.
All right.
Yeah, Lamar Miller is a guy I see with a higher upside but a lower floor. So you're going to have a little bit more volatility from Miller going forward if you need the big games. I kind of lean Lamar Miller here just because when you get in the playoffs, you need those big, big weeks. Latavius I see is really solid, like a great number 2.
Yeah. Ricky in Cleveland wants to know which 2 running backs does he start this week from this McCluster of running backs.
PPR. This is PPR.
Yeah, PPR league. Alfred Blue, Theo Riddick, TJ Yeldon, McCluster, as I said, and Gio Bernard.
Yeldon is probably in automatically.
He's locked and loaded for me too.
Yeldon's been very solid, and he's getting better.
I take Bernard.
And I would take Bernard with the PPR. The question is, it's a Thursday night game against the Browns. That sounds very much like a hill of a game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey?
Hill will break loose.
So that means Gio Bernard is going to get about 30 points.
Right.
So go with Gio Bernard.
Yeah, and while I love Theo Riddick in a PPR, I don't love him on a bye week.
Yeah, I wouldn't start bye week, guys. Historically, I looked at the metrics on that. Historically speaking, bye week guys have underwhelmed.
Yeah, they have not put up solid fantasy production.
We had a guy in our league start Austin Safarian Jenkins last week, injured, and he put up the same amount of points as a bye week guy. So that's kind of what you're looking at for buys.
Get it together, Gabe.
Yeah, shout out. Get it together, Gabe.
Oh, blast.
Stick a fork in him. All right, Trey in Spartanburg, South Carolina. All right, who's got the best rest of season outlook? Randall Cobb, Emmanuel Sanders.
Ooh.
I love this question because one of these guys has been far better than the other one coming in. But I believe rest of season, it's still going to be Randall Cobb. He is getting over his shoulder injury while Emmanuel Sanders has just entered into his. And I believe that after this Carolina week, I don't like the matchup this week for Randall Cobb. But after that, the schedule gets really good for Cobb. His health looks completely back, and I think he'll return to that wide receiver 1 status that we've been waiting very long for him to get to.
Emmanuel Sanders also has a pretty delightful schedule with just a couple bumps in there with the Patriots game, most notably.
You guys notice that Jason has very rosy outlooks for his current roster?
Well, I've got a very
Lamar Miller,
but
Randall Cobb.
I agree.
The future's bright for Jason.
I think better days are coming for Randall Cobb.
I do too.
And I'll take the superstar quarterback who's in the prime of his career.
Yeah, I agree. You could focus on the recent game and be discouraged by it, but I wouldn't. I would.
Or games if you're the Randall Cobb owner.
Right. But I mean more specifically
for Rodgers.
I mean they played each other last game, and obviously the Packers didn't fare well. So, Nick in St. Louis, should I start Brandon LaFell or Tavon Austin in the flex this week? Other 2 receivers are A.J. Green and Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay,
PPR.
We just talked about Tavon Austin, where he is getting it done every week, but it's on such limited work.
It's low catch totals.
It's really hard to trust him. If you want to go for it, I'm not going to stop you. Like that's not a move where I think, oh, that's just crazy. You can't do that. But I would still lean LaFell. He was on the field for over 80% of the snaps for New England, who is putting up over 30 points a game. So I'm going to go with Brandon LaFell.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to lean for LaFell.
And we'll make it unanimous. I just like the matchup against the Redskins a little bit better.
All right, Jared in Los Angeles. Rest of season question. These are great. Jordan Reed or Tyler Eifert?
Oh, man.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, that's such a split.
I can answer it.
Yeah, I think I know what you're going to say.
It's going to have to be Tyler Eifert. Yeah. Even though Jordan Reed on a per game win playing basis has been just as good, and actually better than Tyler Eifert, you have to have that caveat, right? You have to say, well, that's if he's out there. I mean, before the season, we were high on Jordan Reed, but we said, how long is it going to be before he gets injured? And it wasn't that long. And so how long is it going to be, over under on Jordan Reed missing another game? Do you expect him to miss another game the rest of the season? Probably just based on history. So I would, if I had to have one of these guys, I'd like either, but I would much rather go Tyler Eifert.
If you're the gambler,
right,
and you want to go big, you go with Jordan Reed.
I think I got to just go the Eifert side because even with the gambling side of things, Eifert's so high on the list of tight ends
That's
I
fair.
want that it's, if this was like Jordan Reed or Ebron or something, I'd be like, oh, just,
Jordan
run
Reed
with Reed and let it burn down.
Jordan Reed or Barnidge?
It's Barnidge.
But
Barnidge is
the
higher
hard part of this
Eifert.
is the rest of season.
Really? So rest of season, I'm saying rest of season. Would you rather have Tyler Eifert or Gary Barnidge?
Gary Barnidge.
Really?
Workload.
I am so late to the train. I guess I just
you got to jump on, man. Go look at what he's doing.
No, I realize what he's been doing because I've been trying to throw cold water and I can't.
Yeah, I mean, there's been maximum Barnidge happening.
Stay in those flames.
I mean, he's a barnyard dog.
See,
I mean, he's the barnacle.
So you're telling people right now, you got Tyler Eifert, go trade him for Gary Barnidge.
Not necessarily. If you can 1 for 1 but
let me ask you this: you got Gary Barnidge. Do you go and trade for Tyler Eifert?
No, you hold on to Barnidge.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying I would rather have Eifert.
Well, here's a follow-up: Barnidge or Gates?
Barnidge just because of the injury, but that's close to me.
All right.
If Keenan Allen misses any period of time, Antonio Gates is gonna as long as he can get back in tune with his MCL. Because we know the MCL is
a big part of
it.
We saw that this last week.
It's a very important part of the knee. Martinez in New Mexico. Is Jordan Matthews still a must-start player?
No, but he's a guy that I don't want to cut. I'd rather have him on my bench.
Jordan Matthews.
I've got a name for everybody.
Is a startable player, but definitely not a must-start player.
This is the part of the show where my selfish desires in my own leagues get destroyed because obviously we're here for the people. We're here for the Foot Clan.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm signing Nelson Aguilar.
That's fair.
And stashing him in some leagues. Not because I think it's this week. He's practicing again. Huff has done nothing with the opportunity. Jordan Matthews is struggling. Aguilar was a top pick. He's sitting there on your waiver wire in most leagues.
Yeah.
If I had to grab a guy with later season upside potential, I'm taking a chance on Aguilar. Maybe it's just me, but he's been, he battled the injury, but they need somebody.
If both Matthews and Aguilar are on the waiver wire, who would you
It's
grab?
Matthews.
Okay.
It's Matthews. Yeah. All right. Barron in Houston.
Oh.
Are McManus and Gostkowski the only kickers you would keep through the bye weeks? He has Hauschka bye coming up. Doesn't know if he should drop him or not. He is ranked 4th among kickers. Great question. Something we debated at lunch a little bit. I'll let you guys speak to it. I got my own thoughts.
Those are the only two that I think are absolutely, I would keep them and not drop them through a bye. The only other guy that is in that ranking, to me, Hauschka wouldn't be there for me. Mike,
Hauschka, I think, is pretty close, but I am a Justin Tucker owner in many formats, and I'm going to do my best to hold on to him.
And that's kind of what I was going to say. They might be the only two guys. They might not. It really depends on your team. I mean, if you're in line for the playoffs, I don't see a reason why you can't stash an extra kicker for a week. That might be faux pas in the beginning of the year when you're waiting for breakouts and you're losing or these things. For me, I've used a lot of my bench spots on playoff prep.
Yeah, we're getting into the point of the season where it's not uncommon to see my roster or Andy's roster holding 2 defenses.
Yeah.
Because we know a good matchup is coming, and handcuffs become more important if you know it's a solid handcuff, of course, and multiple defenses and weird things like holding onto a kicker on bye. These things come into play now in the season.
The thing that is going to separate listeners of this show from their league mates is going to be 1, 2, 3 of the little things every week. So, and a lot of that is going to come down to the kicker or the defense, unfortunately, just based on the fact that scoring in leagues, is pretty significant for those positions. It's going to come down to handcuffing the back or grabbing the waiver wire ad, and you do 1 or 2, 3 of those things, and you're just putting the odds in your favor week to week. That's the goal. That's why we exist, is we want to put the odds ever in your favor. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, that's funny. It's like I knew the quote and I didn't even know where it came from. It's just in my head.
I read this on a milk carton once.
Right.
On the
and
cup at Chipotle.
Then I hear that, and I'll be honest with you, my first impulse was, X-Files?
oh, that's funny.
And I'm like, oh, no, wait, that's...
It's more like that.
Yeah, I mean, you might have been octave high or something.
Bob. Immaculate pitch. I'll remind you. That's what they call it.
I know, so you were probably dead on.
In the alleys.
All right, Bob in Los Angeles. In the flex, should I play the resilient and rising Michael Crabtree, the new starter Ronnie Hillman, the need for Snead, or Devontae Adams?
It's a pretty good group to flex in here.
Well, I throw Devontae out, by the way.
Yes, Devontae is definitely out.
He's out for me.
Well, he's playing Carolina, and he didn't look very good, and wait and see on him.
He's a guy on our waiver wire show yesterday. I almost brought up as a wait 1 more week. He will be on more waivers after Carolina, and then his schedule opens up.
All right, so who is it? This is a tough pick.
It's crab people, man.
Crab people. Well, let's look at the matchups for people. The Raiders play in Pittsburgh. Hillman takes on who? Who does he have? The Colts. And Snead is facing
the Titans.
Snead is a great play this week. And for Ronnie Hillman,
I'm taking Hillman.
Ronnie Hillman, the Coobs came out and he said they're going to continue to split. C.J. Anderson looked pretty good.
Oh,
this is a Bermuda Triangle here because I'm going Snead.
I already looked at the board here. I
do
don't
like
have the drop.
It's hard for me to bet against Snead. You don't have the drop.
I didn't put the drop in there yet.
Well, then we can't. Then I won't do it.
Oh,
you've ruined it.
Do you want me to go try to find it while you talk about it?
Yeah.
Mike doesn't. He's like, I don't want to take this bet because Willie Snead's the best pick.
It's between Snead and Crabtree for me, and it's
Crabtree's been great lately. I just really want to build you up on Crabtree, so you'll take this Bermuda Triangle water bet.
Wait, so the bet would be
I would be taking Willie Snead. You would be taking Ronnie Hillman, and Mike would be taking Michael Crabtree. So we didn't help our listener, but we might have helped the show.
Okay, do you guys want
find it? Yeah, go ahead.
Bermuda Triangle water bet.
Yes. All right, our first ever official.
Oh,
Bermuda
sometimes
Triangle.
things happen just for novelty. Just for the novelty.
Bermuda in all
mean,
caps.
Let's be honest. I don't want to be betting Ronnie Hillman at any time in the future.
And you have.
And I have. Did I lose
Yes, I was just
the
gonna
Brandon
say,
LaFell,
you
T.Y. Hilton bet?
Brandon LaFell with his 4 for 48. You lost because T.Y. Hilton got Normand, as I said.
He got rained on and
got-
Norman,
yeah.
and it was gross. All right. That sucks. I thought I was going to go undefeated this
will
week.
also get rained on with a watering.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very clever.
They're super smart.
Moving on.
Matt in Boston. Hey, guys. Love the show. Been downloading and listening all year.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
Love the witty banner and the exceptional fantasy advice. Probably in that order. No, hopefully not in that order. I have Julio Jones and A.J. Green along with their quarterbacks. Which quarterback should I start this week for the best possible QB wide receiver stack?
Ooh, okay. So Matt Ryan and Julio are playing San Francisco,
Uh-huh.
and
Dalton Green are at
The
home
Red-
against Cleveland.
oof,
Hook me up with that Dalton Green.
yeah.
Give me that Dalton Green. Oh, it's
They're both great.
it's no brainer.
They're both good though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Dalton.
I agree. Both good options. The big difference here is the difference between what Matt Ryan's been doing and what Andy Dalton's been doing. That's
Took
what
the words out of my mouth.
That's what's the tiebreaker. So you definitely go Dalton and Green.
Both could have. Mike is right. Both could have huge weeks. You could be talking about the best 2 stacks of the week.
You could be talking about like T.Y. Hilton or Dante Moncrief.
That was rough. That was rough for that guy. All right, Kang, like kangaroo, in Grand Prairie, Texas.
Okay.
What do I do with Peyton Manning? Do I keep him and hope he gets better? You're a few weeks late on this, I think. I think it's does he trade him?
I still believe you can get trade value for Peyton Manning.
I still believe Peyton Manning could be all right, but he's a streamer.
I would trade a bag of chips for Peyton Manning.
Like generics or like full on like Ruffles? Or?
No, you were getting no brand name chips from me for Peyton Manning. You were getting bottom shelf, mostly crumpled up.
Some of them green in there.
Yeah, there's probably some moldy chips in there.
We've said this before, but what I would do is I would take one of your middle tier guys or even one of your upper guys, pair him with Peyton Manning, and go and trade to upgrade
Rivers.
that other guy.
Go get Rivers
Oh, good luck.
because the Rivers runs through it.
That is so much better.
The river runs through the Murray. All right. Go.
Show's getting away. All right, Jeremy in Illinois. Oh, I did it again. Dang it. I was reading the
Jeremy in Illinois. I'm a
just-
Le'Veon Bell owner.
Oh,
How much
you
fab
were.
do I spend on D'Angelo Williams? So some people have their waivers run a little bit later in the week. We talked about this yesterday, but in case you missed it, everything.
All of it.
You take everything you have and you spend it on D'Angelo Williams to try and stay afloat.
shout out to a guy from our league, Nick, who 3 consecutive weeks signed D'Angelo Williams Sunday morning before the games.
Yeah, guy moves.
as just a maybe something happens.
Yeah, guy moves to out on your lineup. You move him to the IR, and you pick up a guy off of waivers. That's
And
such a good move.
Paid off in a humongous way. So,
Mark Malcolm in Louisiana. Do you think Tyrod Taylor will play Week 9? If not, would Brian Hoyer be a good start? I'm
I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of them.
I'm proud of you, Mike.
This is
I
a bye
think
week
you-
start.
I
Bye week
have
start for Carson.
Palmer on
Yeah,
bye
play
week.
Tyrod Taylor. He'll be
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
in. Jonathan in Fort Lauderdale. Charles Clay or Martellus Bennett.
Yeah, so you get the easy one to read.
Yeah, well.
I
Too
like
bad.
I like both of these options. San Diego and the San Diego Chicago game is the second highest scoring in Vegas. So I'm gonna go Martellus Bennett here.
Yeah, I like both these guys, but I would lean Clay with the return of Tyrod Taylor.
It's a coin flip for me, but I'll let it land on Clay for this week.
I assume that Watkins and everybody is still going to be out, so the weapons for Buffalo are needed.
Dev in New York, playing in a matchup against Big Ben Roethlisberger. He has Heath Miller, D'Angelo Williams, and Martavis Bryant. Wondering if it makes fantasy sense to play Martavis over Amari Cooper in order to siphon off whatever points don't go to Antonio Brown. This is one of those fantasy questions that comes up very frequently. I think you're playing with fire. If now Martavis might be the better start over Cooper. That's debatable on its own merits, but that's how I would debate the question. Because it can go both ways. It's great when the guy does siphon the points off. It's also terrible when the balls go to Antonio Brown or somebody else, Heath Miller, in the goal line, and you don't get anything from Martavis, and then it's like a double whammy.
I always go with the better guy. I don't try and just mitigate. It like you said, if the mitigation is natural because it's your best matchup, that's nice. But you go with the better player or the better start.
So the question is Martavis or Cooper a better matchup? Cooper plays the Steelers, and then the Steelers
game.
play,
I would go with Cooper.
Yeah, I think Cooper would be the better play. He would be statted ahead. But I do understand this question because they would be so close to me, in my opinion, that as a tiebreaker, I might go Martavis. But I do expect – I mean, Derek Carr is my stream of the week, so I'm going to stick with Cooper here.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'll stick with that. Here's a league question from Corey in Alabama, or as he says, Bama. One of the guys in my league has obviously gone AWOL. His lineup had 3 guys on a bye week this week. That's fine and all, but he's got several top-tier guys on his team. How should I, as the commish, handle this situation? Should we have him drop all those guys so the rest of the league can divvy them up, leave things in and no one gets them, or see if we can get him to come back just as long enough to make some trades for the guys we don't want?
Option D. Replace him. Find another owner to come in and take over that team. If that guy wants out, then that's what I would do. I mean, if he's got a decent team.
So let's talk about. Yeah, I completely agree with you. That is the best option. But let me throw something out there for you. If you can't do that, I don't think you don't drop them. You don't divvy them up.
No.
But there's obviously an league integrity issue where somebody should be in the lineup. So is there any automation of this team that you would approach in the sense of, okay, we look at the Yahoo ranks and we just start the guys that are highest ranked on that team for the integrity of the league? Is that do it in reverse and hurt other teams because you're not,
If you can't, I don't think you can get rid of, you freeze this guy's team if you can't replace him as an owner, and you
even
just
with
make
the
sure,
bye weeks and everything.
Yeah, and you just make sure that you put in the best starters based on
that's
the
not
projections.
freeze. You freeze the
system.
roster, but you still put guys in the lineup for him? What do you do, Mike?
I like the replacing the owner. That's the best option. If that is not an option, then I completely freeze the team. I leave it as it is. You do not adjust anything because you say
it's not fair then. It's not fair for these teams that have already got to play pure buys to now going forward the commissioner is going to run the team.
Yeah,
it looks like it was 1 week, though. One guy got to play the 3 buys.
Obviously gone AWOL.
Yeah, that's just the way it falls sometimes in fantasy. I had a funny story that I wanted to bring up. It's sort of similar to just a league question because someone was asking me about a collusion type thing, and they said a player in the league was tried to add a kicker late, and then claimed the system would not let him put the kicker into the lineup. Something funky happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounded fishy either way. Said so to move on from that player then made a trade with his brother to get Adam Vinatieri, who played yesterday. Okay, so he corrected his own mistake and to get Vinatieri, and I'm like, well, as long as the trade was fair, I don't have any problem with it. I don't care if it's his brother. You got to be able to trade with everybody. You can't have
don't be in a league with your brother if you can't trade with your brother.
Family connections. Then the guy comes back, says, "Okay, well, I just found out that the brother did not know anything about the trade.
Just logged in and
the person logged into his brother's account and accepted the trade."
Wow.
But here's the question. Here's the question. I mean, clearly that's red flags are everywhere. Everything is abort at this point. But the trade was Jordan Reed for Adam Vinatieri. What do you do?
Well, just on principle, you can't let the trade go through.
Yes,
And you gotta
That's
punish.
what I said.
You gotta punish the guy doing this mayhem.
Man.
He's got to get like a loss.
The story just got better and better.
I feel like he should lose Jordan Reed and Vinatieri and the week or something. Like that is ridiculous. What?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, listen, you want to win like that? Just go. It's really easy. It's free. Go to ESPN, start a league, invite yourself
And no one else.
and no one else, and you will win almost 100% of the time.
How did he think he was going to get away with that? Like the next week, someone would show up and, where's my kicker?
On a real serious note, guys, I need both of your login information just in case. Just in case you guys can't access your accounts or something.
Right,
And
to
you
help
need
us out.
you need me to do something.
Well, the system can go wonky when you're trying to sign a kicker. Your phone doesn't work. Yeah, I really buy that story after hearing what he did at the end of it. I'm sure this is, oh boy, my phone didn't work anymore. The app's broken. Yeah, okay. You're playing for your brother, too. All right, that does it for today's show. Thanks for listening. Check us out on jointhefoot.com. We will be here again tomorrow talking starts of the week.
Yes.
Talking week 9.
Week 9
man.
matchup.
The drama, all the injury updates that you could ever imagine. I mean, just hours and hours of them.
Yeah.
All right, just not hours and hours, but we'll give you the big notes. We'll let you know what's going on with guys that might be on your roster who you need to start. Let us know how you did on Twitter at the FF Ballers in terms of your waiver wire guys that you signed, and hopefully things are going well for you this week.
Yeah, we have some. You can hit the button, but we have some big matchups in our league of record.
Yeah.
The playoffs are on the line.
They're
here.
coming. Be sure to
And-
check out Harry's as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Use that code Footballers.
Money off. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Don't forget to visit us on the web at www.thefantasyfootballers.com and follow us on Twitter at the FF Ballers.